You don't expect to wake up missing a year of your life. You expect a headache. You expect confusion. You expect the dull aftertaste of anesthesia and regret. What you don't expect is to find proof that the version of you who disappeared was capable of things you don't remember choosing, and that the version of you standing here now might not be innocent, just incomplete. The first thing Mara Ivers noticed was the light. Not brightness, precision. White, calibrated, clinical. The kind that made shadows feel intentional. The second thing was the silence. Machines hummed softly beside her bed, but no one spoke. No footsteps, no distant chatter, just a room holding its breath. Her pulse monitor ticked steadily, her hands were clean, no IVs, no restraints. She tried to sit up. Pain flared briefly behind her eyes, then faded like a warning rather than a punishment. "Easy," a voice said calmly. A man stepped into view, mid-40s, neatly dressed, black hair, posture relaxed in a way that suggested power without urgency, almost like a predator. "Mara," he said gently. "You're awake. Good." Her throat felt dry. "Where am I?" He smiled, warm and practiced. "Redline Labs, Recovery Suite. You volunteered for a reset protocol. It went exactly as planned." Her heart skipped. "A reset?" "Yes. Temporary memory suppression, targeted. You signed the consent forms yourself." He waited, studying her face. "I'm Dr. Kellen Rowe," he continued. "Founder. You worked directly with me." Worked. Past tense. Mara searched her mind. Her name felt correct. Her body felt like hers. Her thoughts were sharp. But there was blank space, a smooth wall where time should have been. "How long ago was the reset?" she asked. Dr. Rowe hesitated just long enough for her to notice. "About a year." The room tilted slightly. "A year," she repeated. A year of not knowing what she had done or who she had been. "Yes, but the trauma you wanted removed is gone. That was the goal." "What trauma?" Dr. Rowe's eyes softened. "We can talk about that later." That was the first thing that didn't make sense. If she'd erased something bad enough to justify losing a year, why didn't she remember the fear? She sat up, then stood. She had no problem standing, no problem walking. Her balance was good. Dr. Rowe told her she could go home now. The procedure was not physically invasive. She'd be fine. Her apartment looked like a stranger had been living in it. She remembered her apartment. The furniture was the same, but repositioned, optimized, minimalist, intentional. A whiteboard hung near the kitchen, filled with equations she understood but didn't remember writing. Her phone buzzed constantly. Messages from people she didn't recognize. Work threads labeled lead architect. Calendar events she didn't recall attending. And one unread message from her sister, Leah Ivers. "You're finally home. We need to talk." Leah arrived an hour later. She looked like Mara, except she had short black hair. Leah looked at Mara. She seemed to be both relieved and afraid. "You're different," Leah said quietly. Mara forced a smile. "That's one way to put it." Leah hugged her too tightly, then stepped back. "Do you remember anything about last winter?" "No," Mara said honestly. Leah's jaw clenched. "Good. Maybe that's for the best." That wasn't comforting. Later that night, unable to sleep, Mara opened her laptop. A single folder sat on the desktop. "If you forget, watch this!" Her hands trembled as she clicked it. The video loaded, and there she was. Same face, same voice, same red hair, different eyes. "If you're seeing this," the recorded Mara said, expression tight, "then it worked, and that means they wiped you." The woman on screen leaned closer. "Do not trust Dr. Rowe. Do not trust Redline. And do not assume I'm the hero here. I made choices. Bad ones." Mara's stomach twisted. "If you want the truth," the video continued, "start with Jax Moreno. He has what I couldn't keep." The video cut to black. Mara sat frozen. She had erased herself on purpose. Jax Moreno was in his mid-30s like her, with light brown hair, and still had that brown jacket he always wore. He was a conspiracy podcast host. Mara told Jax she had her memory wiped. He didn't believe her at first. He laughed when she said her memories were missing, smirked when she mentioned Redline. Then she showed him the files proving the erasure and evidence lists of files she didn't have. Encrypted documents, server logs, internal memos labeled behavioral override trials. Jax's humor evaporated. "You gave me those files," he said slowly. "6 months ago. Then you vanished." "What do they prove?" "That red line isn't treating trauma," he said grimly. "They're rewriting people, witnesses, whistleblowers, anyone inconvenient. Redline is the architect of a quiet war on free will. Dr. Rowe and some powerful people are controlling the world's outcome with their wipes and rewrites." Mara felt cold. "And me?" Jax met her eyes. "You're listed as lead data architect." Her reflection in the dark studio glass looked unfamiliar. "I built this," she whispered. Before Jax could respond, the studio lights flickered. A crash echoed from the hallway. "Run!" Jax said. They barely made it out the back door before security swarmed the building. Someone was cleaning up. Mara stopped going home. She went to Laz. She started digging. Old server access logs revealed a version of her that was before Dr. Rowe wiped her memories. She had expanded clearance, someone confident, decisive, ruthless. Security footage showed her entering restricted areas, laughing with Dr. Rowe, signing off on experiments. Then came the audio. A cold, controlled voice interrogating a test subject. Her voice. "Memory isn't identity," the woman in the recording said calmly. "Compliance is." Mara ripped the headset off. She didn't recognize herself, but her body did. The nausea, the tremor, guilt without memory. Agent Nia Cole showed up the next morning, an internal affairs investigator or private security contractor. She showed her badge and warrant. She had long black hair and sharp eyes. She knew what Redline Labs was doing, but didn't know the full extent of it. She understood the two personalities of Mara Ivers and why they were so different. The version before her memory wipe was ruthless, but not considered dangerous. The other one, the one that referred to herself as Mar, was ruthless and dangerous. She went to Leia Ivers' house to confront Mara. "You go by Mars now?" Agent Cole asked casually. Mara froze. "No one calls me that." Agent Cole watched her carefully. "You used to." Her sister Leia finally told her the truth in pieces, the truth of what happened before the memory wipe. She told Mara how she had changed, how she started talking about fixing people, how she said suffering was inefficient. "Then there was an accident," Leah said, voice breaking. "A journalist, hit and run. You came home shaking, saying it was supposed to be clean." Mara couldn't breathe. Agent Cole confirmed what Leah was telling her. Traffic footage, her car, her license plate. Mara stared at the screen. "I don't remember this," she said hoarsely. "That doesn't mean it didn't happen," Agent Cole replied. Or that she hadn't been controlled. Mara needed more answers. Breaking into Dr. Rowe's office felt disturbingly familiar. Her hand moved automatically. Her timing was perfect. Inside, she found the consent form. Her signature. Authorization to edit her own memories if she ever tried to leak data. The death of the journalist. She was going to turn herself in. She couldn't live with the guilt. Dr. Rowe had manipulated her. Mara wondered how many times her memory had been wiped, how many times she had done things she wouldn't have otherwise done. Dr. Rowe appeared behind her, unbothered. "I knew you'd hesitate, actually killing someone," he said. "You manipulated me," Mara said. "No, he said you became me and what I wanted," Dr. Rowe corrected. "It was brilliant, necessary, and dangerous." He offered her a choice. Another reset. Cleaner this time, or living with the unbearable truth. Mara chose neither. He didn't look at her as a risk, but thought she was broken. She secretly took the portable Redline unit and used it on herself in the office, by herself, after he left. It was raw, unfiltered. Her mind tore itself open. Memories slammed back, the ambition, the fear, and the moment she decided to erase herself. Not to escape guilt, but to survive it. She woke hours later, alone, different. In that moment, she realized Dr. Rowe would never stop. When Dr. Rowe returned, she was gone. Mara knew she had to destroy Dr. Rowe, Redline Lab, and the entire architecture that defines who people think they are. She took all the evidence to Jax and Agent Cole, and they publicly released the files. All of them. Redline collapsed. The world reeled. After the exposure, people were awakening to the pain they tried to erase. But the worst part was the blank areas of their lives that they had yet to find out about. Weeks later, Mara stood on a rooftop with Leah as dawn broke. "Who are you now?" Leah asked. Mara exhaled. "I don't know," she said softly, "but this time I get to decide." And for the first time, that was enough.